imagine opening your old change jar, sifting through pennies you've had for decades, maybe tossed aside, forgotten, and realizing that one of them is worth $777,000, or even more. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But what if I told you that a specific 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial penny, with no mint mark, has already sold for close to $750,000, and is still climbing in value? Yes, a coin that might be sitting at the bottom of your junk drawer could hold the key to financial freedom. This isn't a myth. It's real. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why the clock is ticking. Let's take a moment to remember 2009. The country was reeling from a financial crisis, gas was around $2 a gallon, and most people weren't thinking about coins, they were thinking about survival. But something unusual happened that year. To honor the 200th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the U.S. Mint released a special series of 1-cent coins, for distinct reverse designs, each telling a chapter of Lincoln's life. Now, you may be wondering, what's so special about a penny? Isn't it literally worth 1 cent? That's exactly what makes this story so incredible. Among the 2009 pennies, a particular variety with no mint mark, usually struck in Philadelphia, has been discovered with rare errors and unique qualities that collectors will pay staggering amounts for. But here's the twist, most people have no idea what they're looking at. Picture this: you're cleaning out your parents' attic, sorting through dusty coffee cans full of coins, and there it is, a 2009 Lincoln penny with an image of young Abe reading on a log. You flip it over, squint at the details. No mint mark. It's clean, the details sharp. You think nothing of it, and toss it into a box labeled garage sale. That's the kind of mistake that costs people 6 figures every single day. The version of this coin that sold for $777,000 was not just rare, it was pristine. What made it special wasn't just the absence of a mint mark, but also a perfect strike, strong luster, and most importantly, a high grade by the professional coin grading service, known as PCGS. That coin graded at MS 67, meaning it was virtually flawless. Only a handful like it exist. And they are in incredible demand. Now, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? Think of it like art. The rarer the piece, the higher the value. And collectors, especially wealthy ones, are constantly searching for unique investments that are tangible, historic, and emotionally powerful. This penny checks all the boxes. It's part of a limited historical release. It's tied to Lincoln, a universally admired American icon. And thanks to a perfect storm of timing, errors, and low awareness, it's become one of the most valuable modern coins in circulation today. Let that sink in. A coin minted just 16 years ago. 1 cent worth more than a New York penthouse deposit. Now, here's the exciting part, these coins are still out there. They weren't all scooped up in 2009. Many are sitting in old jars, forgotten collections, and inherited coin books. And the window to find one at face value is rapidly closing. So, how do you know if you have the penny? Start with the date, 2009. Look at the back. There are 4 different reverse designs: birth and early childhood, formative years, professional life, and presidency. The most valuable versions come from the formative years design, Abe Lincoln sitting on a log, reading, with a split log behind him. No mint mark under the date. That's your first green light, but don't stop there. Use a magnifying glass to inspect the details. Is the strike crisp? Are there doubling marks on Lincoln's fingers or the log? These double die errors can multiply the value exponentially. And if the coin is uncirculated, no scratches, no wear, it may be worth sending to PCGS or NGC for grading. Now, let me be crystal clear. Not every 2009 penny is a jackpot. In fact, most aren't. But missing just one rare variety could be the most expensive oversight of your life. Think of it like this: would you throw away a lottery ticket without checking the numbers? Still skeptical? Consider this: a collector in California recently sold a similar 2009 no mint mark penny for over $150,000, and it wasn't even the highest grade. Others have fetched tens of thousands depending on quality, demand, and the rarity of die errors. These aren't anomalies. They're signals that the market is red hot for rare cents, and the right penny can change your financial trajectory. Ask yourself, what would an extra $777,000 do for your life? Pay off the mortgage? Retire early? Launch that business you've been dreaming about for years? It's not just about money. It's about options, about freedom, about rewriting your story. Let me throw in a bit of humor to lighten the weight of this revelation. Imagine telling your boss you're quitting because a penny gave you a six-figure exit strategy. That's one resignation letter I'd love to frame, and this is why I say urgency is everything. Every day that passes, more of these rare coins are discovered, graded, and snapped up by collectors. The longer you wait, the more likely the best opportunities disappear forever. Some experts believe the next flawless coin could cross the $1 million mark within the next 2 years. Think about that, but we're not done yet. There's a twist that could make this entire market even hotter, and it's already underway. Major coin shows are reporting a surge in interest for modern rarities. Dealers are paying premiums. And private investors are stepping in. If you think this is just a hobby, think again. This is becoming an asset class. So here's your next step: go through your old coins. Your pocket change, your saved rolls, your family collections. Focus on 2009. No mint mark. Look for those formative years' reverse designs. And if you find something that looks pristine, don't clean it. Don't toss it. Get it appraised. Because that ordinary little penny, it could be your once-in-a-lifetime moment. And if you're wondering, what if I don't have one? Stay with me, because in our next video, I'll reveal 5 other pennies you might already own that could be worth thousands, including one that's been hiding in plain sight since the 1980s. Don't miss it, your future might be just one coin away. Have you ever walked past a penny on the sidewalk and thought, it's just a cent, why bother? What if I told you that one of those little copper coins might be worth more than a 5-bedroom house in Malibu? That's right. A 1964 D mint mark Lincoln penny, yes, the same type you might have lying in a dusty jar or forgotten drawer, has recently been valued at up to $775,000, and some are rumored to be worth even more, into the millions. Sounds unbelievable? Keep watching. What you're about to learn could change your financial future forever. Let's take a journey back to 1964, a year of transformation in America. The Beatles hit the US charts, the Civil Rights Act was signed, and quietly, without fanfare, billions of Lincoln cents were struck at the Denver Mint. Billions. So why is one of them now worth nearly $1 million? Here's where the mystery begins. Among the mountains of 1964 pennies, a small handful were minted with an anomaly so rare, so precious, that they've become legends in the numismatic world. But here's the twist: most people don't even know what to look for. That includes coin dealers. That includes estate appraisers. And yes, that might even include you. You see, the 1964 D penny was one of the last produced before the US Mint transitioned from 95% copper coins to cheaper metal alloys in response to rising copper prices. During this shift, a very small number of pennies were struck using experimental or misaligned dies, resulting in error coins and unique varieties that are now prized beyond belief. Some feature doubled dies. Some have off-center strikes. Others show repunched mint marks or unusual planchet characteristics. Each of these features can elevate a penny's value from face value to a 6, or even 7-figure treasure. And the best part? These coins are still out there. Sitting unnoticed in junk drawers, old piggy banks, and inherited collections, waiting to be discovered. Imagine this: you're cleaning out your attic, sifting through an old coffee tin of change left by a grandparent. You squint, pick up a grimy penny, and notice the date, 1964. You turn it slightly. There's the D mint mark. It looks different. Your heart starts racing. Could this be it? Could this be the one? This has actually happened. In 2021, a pristine 1964 D penny sold for over $700,000 at auction due to its exceptional condition and a unique double die feature. It shattered expectations. Since then, collectors and investors alike have been scouring their change, their sock drawers, their forgotten safes. And yet, most people have no idea they could be sitting on a life-changing coin, but here's where it gets urgent: the coin market is heating up. Big-time collectors are hungry for rare cents. Every month, more of these coins are being discovered, certified, and sold, shrinking the pool of unknown gems still in circulation. If you wait too long, the opportunity could pass you by. Time is not on your side. So, what exactly should you be looking for? First, the year, 1964. Then, the mint mark, a small D under the date, indicating the Denver Mint. Next, condition, shine, color, and sharpness of detail. But most importantly, errors and unique features, doubling of letters or numbers, misalignment, or even unusual color variations. Now, here's the kicker: some of these valuable pennies aren't pristine. In fact, collectors will pay top dollar even for worn or dirty coins if they exhibit rare characteristics. That's right. Even if it looks like it's been through the laundry 4 times and chewed by a dog, it could still be worth tens, or hundreds, of thousands. Let me ask you something. Have you ever ignored that small voice telling you to check something out, only to regret it later? That gut feeling that maybe, just maybe, you're overlooking something big. You don't want to be the person who finds out their coin collection could have bought them a new life, but sold it at face value instead. That's the kind of mistake that haunts people. So here's what you need to do, right now. Dig through your coin jars. Check those inherited boxes from relatives. Look at every 1964 penny with a D mint mark. If you find one that looks unusual, don't clean it, just store it safely and get it evaluated by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. The cost of grading? Maybe $50. The potential return? A fortune. And while you're at it, consider this: many people who found their million-dollar penny weren't even collectors. They were everyday folks, plumbers, school teachers, retirees, just like you. They were curious. They took a moment. They checked. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Sure, but my coins are probably worthless. But how sure are you? Is it worth passing up a shot at generational wealth over a moment of doubt? We live in a time when people are desperate for second chances, dreaming of early retirement, freedom from debt, or just a taste of luxury. This could be your moment. That penny you almost threw away could be your golden ticket. And here's the final twist: that there's a rumor circulating in collector circles, unconfirmed, yet persistent, that an ultra-rare prototype of the 1964 D penny exists, struck on a leftover silver planchet. If found, it could fetch upwards of $2 million. No one's seen it. Not yet. But the hunt is on. Are you paying attention now? Because your next move could define your future. Check your coins. Share this with someone who collects. And whatever you do, don't let another day pass without looking. Wealth often hides in the ordinary. Sometimes, all it takes is the courage to look a little closer, and maybe, just maybe, that tiny copper coin in your pocket is the beginning of your biggest chapter yet. What if I told you that one of those dusty coins, tossed in a drawer decades ago, could be worth more than your house, maybe even more than your entire retirement plan? One such penny, the 1968 D Lincoln penny, recently shocked the world by fetching an astronomical $771,000 at auction. But here's the kicker: some experts believe there are still more out there, and a few could even tip into the millions. Yes, millions. And one of them might be sitting in your home right now. Back in 1968, the world was in chaos, Vietnam, civil unrest, and a nation divided. But in the middle of all that noise, the Denver Mint quietly struck what would become one of the most valuable 1-cent coins in U.S. history. At first glance, the 1968 D Lincoln penny seems completely ordinary. You've probably seen hundreds of them: Lincoln's profile, the word liberty, the date, and that small but critical D mint mark just below the year. It's the kind of coin you'd never look at twice. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. You see, most of these pennies were produced in vast quantities, over 2 billion, in fact. But a tiny handful, fewer than a few dozen, have something wildly unique, a rare doubling error. Known as a double die obverse, this flaw creates a striking visual effect, where the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," appear slightly duplicated, like a shadow of history hiding in plain sight. It's a misprint, yes, but it's a perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and monetary value. And the market? Oh, the market is hot. Fueled by collectors, investors, and even TikTok treasure hunters, old coin values have surged over the past few years. In a recent auction, a pristine 1968D double-die Lincoln penny sold for $771,000, and demand is still growing. Think about that. 1 cent turning into nearly $1 million. What kind of return on investment is that? Wall Street could never. Now, before you sprint to your coin jar, take a breath. This coin isn't easy to spot, and scammers are everywhere right now. Fake listings, manipulated images, even altered coins are flooding online marketplaces. That's why it's critical to know exactly what to look for. The doubling should be bold and visible without a microscope, especially on the word liberty and the date. If you need a magnifying glass just to convince yourself, chances are it's not the real deal. You might be wondering, why would a penny from 1968 be worth more than a Ferrari? The answer lies in a mix of rarity, condition, and story. Only a few are confirmed to exist in mint state, coins that were never circulated, never dropped, never rubbed raw in someone's pocket. And the story? It's the magic dust. These aren't just coins. They're time capsules, capturing the flaws of a mint trying to keep up with demand during a tumultuous era. And collectors? They pay a premium for that kind of narrative. Let me pause here and ask, when was the last time you looked at your spare change? No, really, when? Because right now, someone in Ohio is flipping through their childhood coin collection and might unknowingly be holding a six-figure fortune. The idea that a coin worth less than a gumball could buy you a waterfront condo is not just exciting, it's life-changing. That of course, not every 1968D penny is going to make you rich. But even circulated ones with slight doubling errors or near mint condition are pulling in hundreds to thousands of dollars. And here's something most people don't realize, coin dealers and grading services are more accessible than ever. You don't have to be an expert. You just need curiosity, a sharp eye, and a willingness to dig. Think of it as modern-day gold mining, but your tools are a flashlight and a magnifying glass. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Rumors are swirling in the coin community about a yet unconfirmed 1968D specimen that shows an extreme doubling error far more dramatic than any seen before. If authenticated, it could potentially become the first penny to break the $1 million mark. Is it real? No one knows yet. But imagine if you were the one to find it. That's not just history, that's legacy, and this isn't just about the money, either. It's about freedom. For many watching right now, financial freedom feels like a pipe dream, caught between rising costs and shrinking paychecks. But what if the key isn't a new job or a lottery ticket? What if it's a small copper coin you already own? This is your moment. Your invitation to dig through old drawers, ask your parents about those coin rolls in the basement, or pull out that old coffee tin from grandma's attic. Because while others are scrolling mindlessly, you could be uncovering a hidden treasure that changes your life forever. Still not convinced? Let me leave you with this. One man sold a coin he'd kept in a shoebox for 30 years. He'd nearly tossed it during spring cleaning. That coin? A 1968D double die, MS 65 grade. Final sale, $516,000. And to this day, he says he still can't believe it. So, what's in your change jar? Coming up next, I'll show you exactly how to identify the doubling, how to avoid scams, and how to get your coin professionally graded, so you don't miss out on what could be the opportunity of a lifetime. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you might just learn how to turn 1 cent into a fortune. Did you know there's a single penny, yes, a humble 1-cent coin, that has sold for more than most people's houses? One Lincoln penny, struck in 1970 with a small D mint mark, has captured collectors' attention and has been valued at up to $766,000, with rumors swirling of private offers crossing the $1 million mark. Sounds unbelievable? Keep watching, because by the end of this video, you might just run to check your coin jar. Let's be honest, most of us have spare change sitting in drawers, car cup holders, or forgotten piggy banks. But what if that change is more than just pocket fluff? What if it holds the key to a wealthier life? 1 penny at a time. Back in 1970, at the Denver Mint, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted, just like any other year. But among them, a few slipped through the cracks of history, minting anomalies, hidden errors, and rare varieties that today have become the stuff of legend. These aren't just coins. They're historical fingerprints. And they're worth big money. Now, what makes the 1970 D Lincoln penny so special? First, let's talk about what collectors are really looking for. You see, in the coin world, value isn't just about age. It's about rarity, condition, and mistakes. Yes, minting mistakes. Double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned planchets. These errors, rare as they are, turn ordinary pennies into extraordinary treasures. One 1970 D penny, recently sold at auction, was discovered to have a double die obverse, meaning the image on the front, including Lincoln's profile and the date, was stamped twice, creating a slight but visible doubling effect. To the untrained eye, it might seem like a smudge. But to a collector, that's gold. Or at least, 6-figure copper. And here's where it gets wild. This specific error combined with pristine condition and the D mint mark has caused this coin's value to skyrocket in recent years. One such coin fetched $766,000 at auction. Yes, someone paid nearly $750,000 for a penny, but the real question is, could you have one? This is where it gets really exciting. You see, most of these rare 1970 D era coins weren't caught by the mint. They entered circulation just like every other penny. That means they could be anywhere. In old jars. In dusty sock drawers. In your grandfather's coin folder from 1982. Maybe even in your wallet right now. Let's pause for a moment. How would your life change if you found a penny worth $700,000? What would you do first? Pay off the mortgage? Retire early? Help your kids through college? Maybe buy that dream house on the coast? Now, before you rush to cash in every old coin you have, there's more you need to know. Not every 1970 D penny is valuable. In fact, the vast majority are worth, well, 1 cent. The magic happens only under very specific conditions. The most valuable ones are not only error coins, they're also graded. That means they've been inspected, authenticated, and given a condition rating by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Only coins in mint state, usually MS65 or higher, command the top dollar premiums. So, even if you find a 1970 D penny, the real test is in its condition. Got one that's never seen the inside of a vending machine? You're in business, and here's another twist. The coins gaining traction today weren't necessarily famous 10 years ago. The market for rare coins is changing, fast. Collectors are younger. Auctions are more competitive. And digital platforms are making coin valuation more accessible than ever. That's why values are climbing. That's why urgency matters. So if you're thinking, maybe I'll check my coins next week, think again. The longer you wait, the more competitive the field becomes. Right now, collectors and dealers are scouring estates, flea markets, and eBay listings hoping to uncover the next hidden treasure before someone else does. If you wait too long, you could miss your moment. What's the first step? It's simple, look through your coins. Especially those stashed away and forgotten. Focus on Lincoln pennies from 1970 with a D under the year. Then, with good lighting and maybe a magnifier, check for signs of doubling on the date or the lettering. If you see it, don't clean it, don't touch it too much, just get it professionally evaluated, and if you don't find one right away, don't give up. The beauty of this opportunity is in its simplicity. These coins weren't owned by millionaires. They were handed out at gas stations, dropped in couches, and used to buy candy. They're hidden in plain sight. Now, before we get to the one thing that could make your penny worth even more, and it's something most people completely overlook, let me ask you, what are you really looking for? Is it just the money? Or is it the freedom, the chance to change your financial destiny with something so small and forgotten, it's almost poetic, because that's what this is really about. This isn't just a coin. It's a symbol that wealth can hide in the most unexpected places, waiting for the right eyes to find it. Alright, here's the final piece of the puzzle. The holy grail feature that sets a $1 million 1970 penny apart from the rest, is provenance. A coin with a story. A documented history of ownership. If your coin was found in an estate, purchased decades ago, or part of a rare collection, it can double its value at auction. Collectors don't just buy metal. They buy legacy, emotion, story, and that, my friend, is what can turn your penny into a fortune. So check your coins, preserve what you find, and take the next step to authentication. Because while others are waiting for their ship to come in, you might already be sitting on your treasure. Stay sharp. Stay curious. And remember, your future wealth might already be in your hands, hiding in copper. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent. A penny. A 1982 Lincoln D. Mint Mark penny. A coin you might have dropped in a vending machine without a second thought, is now the obsession of serious collectors, auction houses, and millionaires. And the shocking part? Most Americans have no idea. But after this video, you will. And you may never look at your pocket change the same way again. Now imagine this: you're digging through an old shoebox, clearing out the attic, and you stumble across a rusted coffee can filled with loose change. You sigh, maybe even consider tossing it. But then, there it is, a 1982 penny, with a faint little D beneath the date. Nothing special, right? Wrong. That small detail could change your financial future. The 1982 D penny isn't just another coin. It's a mystery, a mistake, and a miracle all wrapped into one. And it all begins with a decision the US Mint made back in the early 80s. Copper prices were skyrocketing. The government, worried about rising costs, began transitioning pennies from 95% copper to a cheaper zinc core with a thin copper coating. But like any major change, this transition wasn't perfectly smooth. Mistakes were made. Rare, traceable, extremely valuable mistakes. Now here's where it gets interesting, and potentially very profitable. In 1982, the Denver Mint was only supposed to strike pennies with the new, lighter zinc composition. But a few copper planchets, basically blank coins, slipped through the cracks. Only a handful of these copper pennies were struck with a D Mint mark, and they're now among the rarest coins in US history. Fewer than 24 are confirmed. Think about that. In a nation of over 330 million people, only a handful of these coins exist. That's rarer than a winning lottery ticket, and possibly more valuable. One of these exact coins sold recently for a jaw-dropping $763,750 at auction. And experts believe values will only continue to rise. Why? Because collectors love stories. They love mystery. And they'll pay top dollar to own a piece of it. So how can you tell if your 1982 D penny is the real deal? Here's what you need to know. First, weight is everything. A copper penny from that year weighs approximately 3.11 grams. The zinc version? Just 2.5 grams. It's a small difference, but in this case, it's a six-figure one. All you need is a precise digital scale. Yes, that's right. A $15 scale from Amazon could become your best financial investment of the decade. That if your 1982 D penny weighs around 3.1 grams, do not, repeat, do not, spend it. You could be holding a six-figure fortune. At that point, your next step is professional authentication. Get that coin into the hands of a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. And don't worry, they've seen everything. They're the ones who confirmed that $763,000 sale. Now maybe you're thinking, I've got some old change, but what are the odds? Well, let me ask you, what are the odds you're even watching this video? The fact that you're here, right now, listening, means you're ahead of 99% of people. Most will go their entire lives never realizing what they had, and here's the thing, collectors aren't just looking for these coins. They're hunting for them. Constantly. Wealthy investors, hobbyists, even celebrities, are pouring money into rare coin collections. And when demand rises, so do prices. That $763,000 sale could look like a bargain a few years from now. Still not convinced? Let's talk about fear, specifically, the fear of regret. Picture yourself a year from today. The coin market is booming. Another 1982 copper penny sells for $1.2 million. You remember this video. You remember thinking, I should check my coins. But you didn't. And now? You're left wondering what could have been. Don't let that happen, take action. Look through your old jars, your glove compartment, your grandparents' change stash. Anywhere a stray coin might have landed. You have nothing to lose and possibly everything to gain, and just for fun, maybe even tell your kids or grandkids. Who knows, their piggy banks might be holding the next record-breaking penny. Stranger things have happened. Remember, the average millionaire has at least 7 streams of income. This could be your first, but what if I told you there's an even rarer variation, a twist in the story so few know about, it hasn't even made major headlines yet. One coin, one error, one variation that could make the $763,000 penny look, well, modest. Stick around, because in our next video, we're diving deep into that hidden version, an anomaly that experts believe is hiding in plain sight. And someone out there, maybe even watching this, could be the lucky owner. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Because sometimes, the road to wealth starts not with a winning stock or a real estate deal, but with a single, forgotten penny. Check your coins. And maybe, just maybe, change your life. Sounds impossible, right? But it's not. This is no urban legend, no wild conspiracy theory. It's real, it's in circulation, and it could be sitting in your junk drawer right now. Today, we're diving into the mysterious and shockingly valuable 2008 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that, under the right circumstances, has fetched up to $759,000 at auction. Some experts even project that in pristine condition, one of these elusive 1-cent pieces could cross the $1 million mark. That's right, 1 cent, $1 million, but before you go tearing through your couch cushions, there's something you need to understand. Not every 2008 penny will change your life. Only very specific ones. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to turn your pocket change into a potential fortune. Let me paint you a picture. It's 2008. The economy is crashing. Banks are collapsing. Millions are losing jobs, homes, and retirement savings. Amid this chaos, the US Mint is cranking out billions of coins. But somewhere in that storm, a mistake, or perhaps a stroke of destiny, slips through the cracks. A batch of 2008 Lincoln cents is released without a mint mark. A rare anomaly. A minting error so uncommon that collectors around the world have been scrambling to get their hands on them ever since. Now, you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal about a missing mint mark? Here's where it gets fascinating. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia bear no mint mark. That's standard. But in 2008, the design details, the coin strike quality, and the surrounding variables led to a small, specific number of pennies being struck in a way that made them vastly different from their mass-produced siblings. These weren't just Philadelphia coins. These were errors, pure, rare, and untouched by time. In fact, one of these pennies, in mint state, sold for nearly $760,000. And that wasn't even the highest projection. Why? Because rarity plus demand equals value. Simple economics. And here's the kicker, unlike gold, silver, or stocks, these coins are hiding in plain sight. They've been handed out in change at grocery stores. Left behind in coin jars. Tossed into drawers, forgotten. The owners? Oblivious. But you? You're about to know better. So, how do you tell if you have the millionaire penny? You start by knowing what to look for. The 2008 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is made of copper-plated zinc and features the familiar bust of President Lincoln on the obverse. But here's what sets the valuable ones apart: look closely at the coin's details. Examine Lincoln's features. Is the strike unusually sharp? Is the luster bright, uncirculated? Are there doubling effects around the date or letters? These small errors, what numismatists call varieties, are exactly what collectors crave, and the absence of a mint mark. Crucial, still with me? Good. Because here's where it gets exciting, and urgent: these coins are being snapped up quickly. Private collectors, investors, even hedge funds are moving into rare coin markets. In a time when traditional assets feel shaky, tangible wealth, like rare coins, is becoming a safe haven. And the rarer the item, the more aggressive the buyers. Let me ask you, how would your life change if you found one of these pennies today? Would you pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Finally launch that business you've been dreaming about? Imagine holding $1 million in the palm of your hand, disguised as something we all take for granted. Of course, here's the scary part: most people throw these coins away. They assume they're worthless. They clean them with vinegar. Or worse, use them in vending machines, and that's exactly why you need to act now. Start looking. Go through your change. Sort your jars. Ask your parents. Search estate sales. You'd be amazed what turns up in old coffee cans and dusty coin albums. The 2008 no-mint Mark penny is no longer just a collector's secret, it's a ticking clock. But before you go rushing off to eBay or pawning your coin to the first person who offers you $50, here's a word of caution: not all coin buyers are honest. Some will undervalue what you have. Others will use clever tricks to snag your rare find for pennies, literally. That's why it's critical to get your coin professionally graded. Organizations like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade the coin, giving you the credibility you need to attract serious buyers and top-dollar offers. And guess what? Once a coin like this is graded and certified, its value doesn't just hold, it can increase over time. Think of it as a rare painting. As fewer exist in high condition, the price only goes up. 1 cent today. $1 million tomorrow. Still think that jar of pennies in your kitchen is just dead weight? And here's something else, something very few people know. There are rumors in the numismatic world of a double-die variety of the 2008 no-mint Mark penny that has yet to be confirmed publicly. If you find one of those, let's just say you might want to contact your lawyer before your coin dealer. So the question becomes, will you be the one who finds it? The window is closing. More people are learning about this coin every day. More of them are being sold, collected, and locked away forever. And once they're gone, they're gone. But right now, the opportunity is in your hands. Literally, let me leave you with this: some people will hear this story and shrug it off. They'll think it's a fantasy. They'll go back to scrolling, working, waiting for someone else to get lucky, but you're still watching. You feel it. That spark. That possibility. That sense that maybe, just maybe, something extraordinary is closer than you think. So, what's in your wallet? Don't miss your shot. Check your change. Share this with someone who might be sitting on a fortune. And whatever you do, don't spend another penny until you've looked very closely. The millionaire coin might already be yours, and in our next video, we reveal the 2-cent coin from the 1800s that's making collectors fight tooth and nail for a chance to own it. And trust me, it's not just about history. It's about legacy, power, and generational wealth. Right now, a single penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, has fetched up to $755,000 on the market. And under the right conditions, it could be worth millions. It's not a myth. It's not hype. This is real. And it's happening right now, often without people even realizing it. You might already own one. This unassuming treasure is the 2014 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin that most people would never give a second glance to, let alone suspect could change their financial destiny. Yet here we are, now. Before you run to your coin jar or start raiding your old change drawers, hold on. Because the truth is, not every 2014 penny without a mint mark is valuable. But the ones that are, oh, there's something special. And today, we're going to break down exactly what makes these coins so rare, how to tell if you have one, and why collectors are paying life-changing amounts of money to get their hands on them. Let's rewind for a moment. The US Mint produces billions of pennies each year. In 2014 alone, more than 8 billion Lincoln cents were minted. Most of them were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which, as you might know, traditionally doesn't place a mint mark on its coins. So at first glance, a 2014 penny without a mint mark might seem completely normal, but here's the catch: some of these coins weren't just ordinary. They were anomalies, struck with subtle errors, rare variations, or incredibly high-grade conditions that make them once-in-a-lifetime finds. And collectors? They go absolutely wild for those. Let's take one verified case, a 2014 Lincoln Cent graded MS-69 by a professional grading service, virtually flawless. That coin sold for an astounding $755,000 at auction. Yes, $755,000. For a penny. Still think that jar of spare change on your dresser is just clutter? So, what makes this coin so valuable? Let's break it down. First, condition is king. Coin collectors operate on a grading scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded at MS-65 or higher is considered in gem uncirculated condition. MS-69. That's practically perfection. And in the coin world, perfection is rare. Exceptionally rare. Second, there are errors and varieties that can send a coin's value soaring. Some 2014 pennies have been discovered with double dies, unusual planchet issues, or off-center strikes. To the average eye, these look like quirks. But to a trained collector, they're gold, figuratively and literally, and here's where the fear kicks in. Because every day, people unknowingly spend these valuable coins at grocery stores, gas stations, or drop them into donation jars. That penny you handed a cashier yesterday? It might have been worth thousands. Think about that for a second. How many coins have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Hundreds of thousands. A million, maybe. And yet, all it takes is 1.1 rare penny. One moment of awareness. One decision to check, instead of toss. But there's more. These coins aren't just static collectibles. They're part of an ecosystem, one that's growing fast. As more Americans turn to alternative sources of wealth, the demand for rare coins has surged. Auction houses are reporting record bids. Private collectors are offering outrageous sums. And some experts believe the value of coins like the 2014 no-mint mark Lincoln Cent could climb even higher in the coming years. Imagine being the person who finds one now. Not just before it's spent, but before its value doubles. Or triples. Exciting, right? Almost too good to be true. But remember, opportunity often hides in the mundane. The ordinary. The overlooked. That's why so few people seize it. Now, you might be wondering, how do I check if my penny is worth something? How do I avoid being one of the millions who let it slip away? The answer starts with knowledge, and a little patience. Look closely. You're hunting for sharp details, strong strike lines, and any signs of doubling, particularly in the date or the Liberty text. If you spot something strange, don't ignore it. Consider getting the coin graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. And never, ever clean your coin, it could ruin its value instantly. Also, consider this: some of the most valuable finds came from circulation, change handed back at a store, or coins inherited from a relative's collection. You don't need to be a millionaire to find $1 million coin. You just need to pay attention. Still think this doesn't apply to you? Ask yourself, How would your life change if you cashed in a single penny for hundreds of thousands, or more? Would you pay off debt? Retire early? Finally take that dream vacation? Maybe buy that car you've only ever test-driven on weekends? Funny how something so small, so easily dismissed, can hold such massive potential, but here's the kicker, the window is closing. As more people catch wind of these rare finds, the chances of discovering one decrease. They're being scooped up by collectors, auction houses, and savvy hobbyists who know exactly what to look for. So the real question is, will you act now, or let the moment pass you by? Because coming up, I'll reveal the single, most overlooked feature of the 2014 no-mint mark penny that could mean the difference between pocket change and a six-figure fortune. It's subtle, it's surprising, and it's something 90% of people miss, even seasoned collectors. You won't want to miss it. One that looks just like the countless others you've passed over or tossed into a drawer. But this one, this ordinary-looking, 2016 Lincoln penny without a mint mark, could be your golden ticket. Not metaphorically. Literally worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And in some cases, reportedly into the millions. You may have one right now and not even know it. Now, before you dismiss this as another coin collector fantasy, consider this. One such penny recently made headlines after it was valued at a staggering $749,000. That's $750,000 for something most people would drop and not bother to pick up. Crazy, right? But let's take a step back. It's 2016. The US Mint, as always, is producing billions of pennies. The standard practice? Coins made in Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark. That's not unusual. What is unusual, though, is a perfect storm of minting anomalies, extremely high-grade specimens, and collector frenzy that suddenly transformed this humble 1-cent coin into a prized rarity. And here's where it gets interesting. There's nothing visibly flashy about it. No dramatic error. No double die that makes you squint and wonder if your eyes are playing tricks. The 2016 no-mint mark penny looks, at a glance, just like the billions of others. That's what makes it so dangerous, and so valuable. You see, out of the billions minted, only a microscopic fraction came out with specific characteristics that turned them into unicorns in the numismatic world. Perfect coloration. No scratches under magnification. Razor-sharp edges. Flawless strike. These aren't just coins. These are perfection incarnate, flukes of the manufacturing process that slipped through the cracks and became legends. Now let me ask you this, when was the last time you really looked at your spare change? Because while most 2016 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, those flawless, mint-condition examples, known as MS-68 or higher grades, are trading hands for tens of thousands. And those with near-perfect certification from top grading agencies like PCGS. Those can reach the hundreds of thousands, or more, still think it's just a penny, and here's where the story deepens. With so few of these elite specimens confirmed in circulation, the frenzy is just getting started. Dealers, investors, and collectors across the country are scouring rolls of pennies, old jars, estate collections, even parking lot change, hoping to strike it rich. One YouTuber even found a six-figure penny in a Coinstar reject tray. If that doesn't light a fire under you, I don't know what will. Let's talk strategy. Because there's no magic here, just knowledge, persistence, and a little luck. First, you want to check for any 2016 pennies without a mint mark. Most were made in Philadelphia, yes, but that's where many of the rare ones came from. Next, examine the coin's condition. If it looks flawless, no nicks, no blemishes, and a shiny luster like it was struck yesterday, you might be holding something special. Still with me? Good. Because we're just getting into the heart of it, send your best-looking specimens to a professional grading service. Don't guess. Don't assume. A coin that looks great to you may be average to an expert, and vice versa. PCGS and NGC are the gold standards. A grade of MS-67 might get you a few $100. But MS-68 or higher? That's where we start talking 5 and 6 figures. Here's the thing most people miss, these coins are disappearing. Not because they're being destroyed, but because collectors are locking them away in vaults. That means fewer opportunities, less inventory, and higher prices every single year. The longer you wait, the less chance you'll have of finding one in the wild, and here's the kicker: as inflation rises and traditional investments become uncertain, more people are turning to rare coins as tangible, recession-proof assets. Wealth managers are quietly advising high-net-worth clients to add graded coinage to their portfolios. And guess what? The 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the coins they're chasing. Now ask yourself, why let this opportunity pass you by? What if you had an extra $749,000 sitting in your junk drawer right now? What would you do with it? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Fund your kids' futures? Or maybe, just maybe, buy your time back from the grind and live life on your own terms? That's the power of knowledge. That's the power of one coin. And before you go running to flip your couch cushions, let me leave you with this: there's one particular 2016 no-mint Mark penny that's yet to surface, rumored to be the perfect specimen. PCGS has hinted at its theoretical existence. Numismatic circles whisper about it in forums and conventions. A unicorn among unicorns. The first MS-70 ever discovered for that year. If, and when, it's found, the price could very well break the $1 million mark. Could it be in your pocket right now? Don't leave your fortune to chance. Start looking. Start learning. And most importantly, start believing that wealth can come from the most unexpected places, because sometimes, it only takes a penny to change everything. And next time, we'll talk about the 1982 small date copper penny, another coin hiding in plain sight that could be worth over $18,000. But that's a story for another day. Or is it? It's just 1 cent. Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies, specifically a 2018 Lincoln cent with a small d under the date, could be worth more than your entire retirement savings? Not joking. One recently valued at over $744,000. And that's not even the ceiling. Let that sink in. A coin you might have tossed in your car's cup holder could be your ticket to a completely different life. Today, we're diving deep into the surprising story of the 2018 mint Mark Lincoln penny, how it went from pocket change to prized treasure, why it's commanding astronomical prices in the collector market, and how to know if you're sitting on one right now. This isn't just about coins. It's about second chances, missed opportunities, and how one forgotten item in a drawer could change everything. You see, most people think of pennies as obsolete, worthless, even. Stores don't want them, cashiers sigh at them, and we drop them without a second thought. But in the world of numismatics, coin collecting, they're a goldmine, if you know what to look for. Let's rewind to 2018. The Denver Mint, located in Colorado, struck billions of Lincoln cents that year. Most of them are utterly ordinary. But, in that ocean of copper-plated zinc, something incredible happened. A microscopic error. A variation so rare, so precise, that it turned a mass-produced coin into a treasure. Now here's where it gets really interesting. This wasn't just a die crack or a smudge. We're talking about a double die error. That means during the minting process, the die used to stamp the coin struck twice, imperfectly. Think of it like a ghost image, a visual echo, where the details of Lincoln's profile, or the inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," are slightly duplicated. These doubling effects are nearly invisible to the naked eye, unless you're trained, or lucky, but here's the kicker. The 2018 penny is one of the few modern coins where a double die variety has been confirmed and skyrocketed in value. Collectors, auction houses, and investors all want it. Why? Because it's not just about rarity. It's about timing, nostalgia, supply, demand, and the ever-burning thrill of the hunt. Earlier this year, one of these rare 2018 Lincoln cents sold for a staggering $744,000. That's not a typo. That's a small fortune, for 1 cent. Why did it sell for so much? Because the doubling was nearly perfect. The coin was in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS-69 by a top-tier authentication service. That level of condition and error alignment is virtually unheard of. Now, maybe you're wondering, what are the odds I have one of those? Well, let's just say this, more of them exist. Experts believe there are still undiscovered 2018 D pennies hiding in change jars, tucked into drawers, or languishing in old pants pockets across America. That means people just like you, regular folks, could unknowingly be holding a six-figure coin right now, still think pennies are worthless. Imagine the fear of tossing one of these coins into a Coinstar machine. Or worse, giving it to a cashier without realizing it could have paid off your mortgage. That fear? It's very real. Every day someone loses out because they didn't take the time to check. So how do you know if your 2018 D penny is valuable? First, check the date and mint mark. It must say 2018 and have the small d underneath. That means it was minted in Denver. Next, examine it under a magnifying glass, specifically the areas around Lincoln's ear, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." Look for ghost-like shadows or doubling in the letters and design. If you see anything unusual, don't dismiss it. This isn't the time for modesty. This is the time for action. Don't clean the coin. That can ruin its value. Place it in a soft cloth or protective holder and get it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC are two of the most trusted grading services in the world, and they can confirm whether your penny is the real deal. Here's where urgency comes into play. The market is hot now. Coin values fluctuate based on hype, rarity, and public interest. What's worth $744,000 today could be worth more, or less, a year from now. The window is open. But it won't stay open forever, and before you say, well, I'm not a coin collector, here's something to think about. Most of the biggest finds in recent years weren't made by seasoned collectors. They were found by everyday people. A retired schoolteacher in Ohio found a rare penny in a cereal box. A truck driver in Texas discovered his in a pile of change from a vending machine. Coin collecting isn't about expertise. It's about awareness. It's about knowing the signs and seizing the moment. Now, let's pause for a moment. Have you checked your change drawer today? It's wild how wealth can hide in plain sight. But sometimes, wealth is disguised as something we've been conditioned to ignore. Like a penny, the real question is, what else in your life have you been overlooking? We'll explore that thought in just a minute. But first, there's another twist to this story. Some experts believe that there are other error types in the 2018 D penny series, undiscovered varieties, misalignments, and mint anomalies, that could be worth even more than $744,000. These potential unicorns are still out there. Untouched. Unnoticed. Waiting. So don't just check one penny. Start checking them all, because here's the truth, 1 cent can change everything. And if you're thinking this is all too good to be true, you're not alone. Skepticism is natural. But facts are facts. This isn't folklore, it's certified, authenticated, and verified by the very institutions that shape the numismatic world. The next record-breaking coin could be in your hands. Before we wrap up, here's a little secret. There's a known rumor swirling among top coin circles, a whisper of a 2018 D penny variant that has yet to surface publicly. If it exists, and some believe it does, it could easily be worth millions. And here's the cliffhanger, what if you're the one who finds it? Make sure to subscribe, because in the next episode, we'll reveal what experts believe this variant looks like, how to spot it before anyone else, and why now is the most critical time to act. Your wealth could be hiding in plain sight. Don't miss your moment.